Paul John Dykes, and I am once again joined by Colin Watt. This is a half-time analysis of Celtic 2, Dundee United 0. Colin, excellent first half. What was your thoughts overall?
Yeah, definitely. It was good to see that energy about the team. One of the notes that I took down even before the first goal was how quick we were in closing them down. I took a look at the possession stats and we had 75% of the possession there in the first half. And that was all about how quickly we closed them down. I said before the game that they had 3 up front and they've also got guys like Peter Pollitt on the park, so they were definitely coming out to have a go at us, and I thought we'd be able to get in behind. That's definitely been the case in the first half. When you take a look at it, the amount of space that's been in the sort of final third for Celtic, Edwards had lots of time on the ball. Frimpong has been doing really well, getting down the right-hand side. Good to see more of him actually hitting the byline. We've not seen that end product yet, but he is getting down there and he isn't just stopping at the 18-yard box. He's taking his man on. What a strike from Ismaila Soro. That was outstanding. But the build-up play to that, we must have kept the ball just before that for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It was just pass and move, pass and move, pass and move. Anytime we lost the ball, we got it back within a couple of seconds. And then Soro taking the touch, getting it out his feet and just hitting it straight into the top corner. Lovely strike. It's been a fantastic first half, certainly for Celtic. People say we don't talk positively enough on this podcast. I've been really happy with that first half. I think it's been one of our best first 45 minutes of the season. I'd like to see that carry on in the second half, and just getting that goal before half time kind of makes it 2-0. And I think that was something that we needed. We needed to build on the momentum that we were building and actually take this in to the second half. If Dundee United sit back, then at least we've got the 2-goal lead. If they come out, I think we'll get the second one. So, yeah, very positive first half.
Well, you know, you're talking about negativity there. It's the narrative is influenced by what we're watching on the park, Colin, and what you've seen in the first half there at Celtic Park is all very positive. I would be struggling to find any kind of negatives around that performance. You mentioned Frimpong. I think Frimpong's had a very good first half. I think he's crossed into the dangerous area quite a few times. Yep. One of the balls that probably he didn't catch as sweetly as he would like ended up with Griffiths with an unbelievable turn in the box. Griffiths seems desperate to score. In actual fact, the last chance of the game with McGregor bursting down the left after a great run by Ayer. Yeah, a better ball, and it's 3-0 at half time there, Colin, you know. So very, very positive in the first half, and I do think that Eddie looks in the mood, as does Griffiths. But when you're looking at Soro's performance, we were talking before the game, is this the team that will line up to face Rangers? It could well be. I think obviously Barkas has been reintroduced with that in mind. I also think that Lenny might have still had the Scott Brown dilemma to work his way through. Would he return like he did in the Scottish Cup final? Soro is undroppable playing like that. He's undroppable. How could you not play him against Rangers after that first half performance?
No, you couldn't. That's the point I've been making. He's really took that jersey and made it his own. And the thing that really impresses me about Soro is not just his work rate, it's the getting on the ball and finding the pass that goes forward. A lot of his passes are forward. There's hardly ever a pass that he puts back the way. He's always turning on the ball, making the space and playing the ball forward, which keeps the momentum going and builds to the attack. And just on the goalkeeper situation, 42 minutes in, Barkas makes a save. There's his first save of the season. There you go.
Yes, down to the left, it was a comfortable enough stop for him. What I did see, because obviously we're looking at Barkas, he was the subject on many of our lips at the beginning of the game. He does still like that sweeper keeper scenario behind the two centre halves. He always plays 40 yards out rather than staying in his box. He wants to keep that tempo high, and I think it's important when Celtic are playing as they did in the first half there, Colin, to keep that tempo high, because you don't want us to be pinned back. I think during the commentary it was mentioned that as soon as Celtic lose the ball, they're winning it back, and that's important in the final third, because the transition to defence has always been a concern for me. A couple of comments here around Christie hasn't been as involved. I think that works better for the team though, Colin. when he's not as involved. He's now playing as part of a unit. You can see him and Turnbull swapping, rotating the positions. I think also with the corner kicks, what you can see now is that both of them are in swinging their corners. That's why they're taking them from Christie from the right, Turnbull from the left, and Christie's corners seem a wee bit better because he's taking them possibly from his preferred side. But that's what I was trying to say before around Christie. He just needs to have that focus and that discipline within an area of the pitch, and he's far more productive that way for the team. You know, he might not stand out. What do you make of Laxalt's performance? We spoke about him returning to the side. I think he's been pretty impressive in that first half.
He's been decent. There's probably still more you want to see from him, but that'll come. I'd like to see him doing similar to what Frimpong does on the right-hand side. I'd like him to try and hit the byline, take his man on, force the tackle to come in, maybe win a corner, maybe win a penalty, depending on how he gets on. He definitely is a better attacking option than Greg Taylor. That's something that nobody can argue against. The question was asked before the game, who was the better defensive option? And I would still say Greg Taylor's that, but it depends how you're planning to line up for the game at Ibrox. I think if you take a look at this, the team that we're playing today, that is the team that's going to play at Ibrox. And if he keeps playing in that momentum, trying to dominate the game and dominate the possession, then that team's the right team to play.
Let's go and check out some of the comments coming in. First of all, via YouTube is IH Decorating. Welcome back to the show. If you are watching on YouTube and you're not already subscribing, then please do. We are broadcasting multiple times, but on a daily basis. Take a bow, David Turnbull, top class. Colin. He is becoming the jewel in the crown for Neil Lennon at the moment. To think that, 4 goals and 6 from David Turnbull. His ball retention, I keep saying it, but he very rarely loses the ball. And I was also saying he loves that wee dink over the top, and that's exactly what he did to create a brilliant chance for Griffiths. I thought it was a good effort by Griffiths, and then Eddie probably should have done better with the second chance. But Turnbull is orchestrating this game. He's running the show.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the best early Christmas present that Neil Lennon got was that he realised that David Turnbull was available in his squad. When he brought him in for the Lille game alongside Sorrow, that's when a lot of our fortune started to change. When you look at it, he's now scored 4 goals in 6 games. I think in his breakthrough season for Motherwell, he scored maybe 15, 20 goals. So he's got that ability. And the 2 goals we've scored today have been from outside the area as well, which is something that we don't score a lot of. When you're trying to break down a defence, getting those opportunities and actually getting them on target from outside the box is really good. But as you say, that dink over the top for Lee Griffiths was outstanding. It reminded me of the way you used to see Gianfranco Zola lift the ball over the Chelsea. He's definitely got that ability about him.
He wasn't a bad player either, was Zola. I remember a comment being made by Alan Morrison, who does the Celtic by Numbers stats show, Colin, and he was speaking about how we lost Armstrong and we lost Dembele and Griffiths, obviously 2 via transfer and 1 through injuries and illness. And we lost 3 guys that used to score a lot of goals from outside the box, but we lost them all roughly at about the same time. Because of that, we lost a huge amount of goals. And the thing that Alan was saying was that strike from outside the box is sometimes the only way to break down a team. If you're up against a side that's playing very defensively, ultra defensively, and often at Celtic Park that is the case, and they're packing the defence like that, sometimes you need that strike from distance. And if you don't have it, and I remember with all those goals being ripped out the side when Dembele, Armstrong and Griffiths were missing, we really, really struggled to break sides down, and that was under Brendan Rodgers. And I think it's important that you brought that up in the first half, because Dundee United do seem kind of resolute. You had that wee dink over from Turnbull. You've had a couple of decent crosses, one from Laxalt on the left, a couple from Frimpong on the right. But if you can't play it through a team like that, Colin, and it's difficult to do it at times, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for Sorrow, you're looking for Turnbull, Christie, Griffiths. We've got guys who can score from 25, 30 yards. Yeah,
and that's what it's all about. It's about having the creativity in the side. And certainly Turnbull has brought that since he's been introduced. But what is also reassuring is you've got someone like Sorrow who is off on the solidity in the defence, which allows these guys to get on the ball and be more creative and actually utilise it. As we said, you want to see Christie more on the ball going forward than tracking back, because when he tracks back, sometimes his discipline lets him down and he gives away unnecessary free kicks. When he does that, that's when we've seen before chances are created, and at the back we've not been able to keep them out. But when he's gone forward, he's got the ability to put a decent cross in, he's got the ability to take the shot, and you need to see us playing to their strengths instead of making them adapt to the kind of situation that we're putting them into.
Well, we've got Barkas, Ayer and Julien as that diamond at the back, not the diamond, rather a triangle. And what we would hope for, Colin, between now and the end of the season is to get some kind of solidity at that area, in that area of the park. From that first half showing, have you got any kind of confidence or any concerns that those three should be our first picks for the goalkeeper in the central defensive area?
No, and as I say, that the team that starts today should be the team that starts on Saturday. What's the point in changing anything? You've got to try and get some sort of kind of fixed positioning in there. You need to try and get the players so that you're picking 10 players every week plus the goalkeeper, and you only really need to change it in the case of injury or suspension. You need to get the regularity in there, and it's only through that we'll start seeing the consistency in the performances.
Well, Colin, thank you very much for joining us at half time. I know that you have other things to take care of at the moment, so I'll let you go, and I will continue to discuss with any of the comments that are coming in. So we won't see you at full time, but I'm sure I'll catch up with you before the Rangers game. All the best, Colin.
I'll give you my new prediction. I'll go with Celtic to win 3-1 now.
I'll stick to 4-0, mate. Obviously, the St Mirren game's not going to end up 1 each, but hopefully it'll be 2-2. Right, have a good New Year, Colin.
Take care, Andrew.
And there we go, Colin Watt joining us for a half-time bulletin. We will stay on until the teams re-enter the pitch at Celtic Park, Aero 250. A Celtic team playing with swagger and fluidity. Great to watch. Long may it continue. Absolutely, Aero 250. And the man in your avatar will be back soon enough, and hopefully he can add to that as well, Jamesy Forrest. At full-time, I will be joined by Kevin Graham to talk about a second-half performance that hopefully was as good as the first. Felix 5, much better, people. Yeah, I think it has been, absolutely, and it just shows how positive people get with a good showing by Celtic. Celtic, how I have missed you. By the way, though, I must admit, and I'm not throwing any negativity into the mix, I did feel the same at half-time against Hearts in the Scottish Cup final. I felt that we were really in control of that game, 2-0 up, and we were going to go on and score 3 or 4. Hopefully we can capitalise on it this time round. The players are back on the park, and let's go back to Celtic Park to see if we can replicate the first half. I'm sure we will. I'm still going for 4-0, and I'll see you all at full time. Thank you for joining me on a Celtic State of Mind.